Hi guys, today is a bit different than normal, because instead of just showing you how to cook, I also want to tell you a bit more on the story on how to create. So I collaborated with my friends from Mold Brothers to create my own mold and my own stamp.
Whenever I create something new, I always love talking to the guys from Mold Brothers. They have such a good insight for design and they can truly make anything. This time I came up with an idea to make a lasagna Parmesan cheese dish, but I didn't want to mess with the lasagna itself. Next year I'm getting married in Italy and I still want to be welcome in the country, because yeah, you never know, right? So we came up with a crisp mold to cover the lasagna and give it some beautiful details from the Parmesan cheese that I'm using for the lasagna. Next, the guys had an amazing idea to make a brand stamp. It's personalized with my initials, birth year and my brand name, but it still has the full feeling of a real Parmigiano logo. Once the designs are finished, they make the cast to pour the silicone. This is done with a 3D printer and the detail is really incredible. The casts are then filled with the silicone and it's slightly airbrushed to remove any air and to make sure that all the details will show in the final product. After this, the silicone needs to set before it can be removed from the cast. This can take up to a couple of hours. When that's done, the sides are trimmed and then the molds are good to go.
Okay guys, a week has passed and look what just came into the mail. I'm very excited to share it with you. Let's just have a look. Okay, yeah, the DOP logo with the Parmigiano. This is for the Parmesan crisp on top of the dish. Very excited to use these ones. They're both the same, but on one the 3D effect is on the inside and on the other one it's on the outside. So I think I'm going to use the one from the inside because then I can also add a bit of color, or then at least it's easier to add it and then you have a little bit of a difference. So very excited to use these. And of course the beautiful stamp to brand the Parmesan buns. Can't wait to use this one. So let's just begin.
First we're going to mince the garlic and the pancetta. Do this with 5 cloves of garlic and 100 grams of pancetta. Then take a new bowl and mince 400 grams of beef and 400 grams of pork. After, cut 2 onions in half and clean them. Then also peel 2 big carrots and cut them in big chunks. Now transfer it into a blender and blend it till fine. Then add a drizzle of oil to a hot pot and start caramelizing the garlic and the pancetta. Do this on a medium heat till golden brown. Then add the onion and carrot and pan fry for around 5 minutes. Make a well in the middle and fill it with the minced meat. Pan fry this again for 5 minutes. Then make another well in the middle and fill it with 100 grams of tomato paste. Pan fry it to remove the sourness of the paste. Then deglaze the pot with 300 grams of red wine. Let this reduce completely. Meanwhile, blend 1 kilogram of canned tomatoes till smooth. Once the red wine is reduced, add the blend tomatoes. Then use some cooking rope to bind 5 sprigs of thyme and 4 bay leaves together. Add it to the sauce and let it simmer on a low heat for around 6 hours. Meanwhile, we're going to make the Parmesan buns. Remove the crust from some Parmesan cheese and chop 120 grams of the crust. Then transfer it into a saucepan and also add 300 grams of water. Bring this to a simmer and then let it cool down completely. Then pass it through a fine sieve. Now transfer 90 grams of the Parmesan water into a saucepan and also add 20 grams of flour. Mix it well and then while stirring bring this to a boil. Then mix 120 grams of the Parmesan water with 9 grams of dry yeast and dissolve it. After that, mix 320 grams of flour with 35 grams of sugar and 7 grams of salt. Now add the yeast mixture, the thick Parmesan cheese mixture, and then also add 1 egg yolk and 1 whole egg. Let this knead for 1 minute. Then add 40 grams of butter and 30 grams of grated Parmesan cheese. Now knead it on a low speed for around 8 minutes. Then use a dough scraper to shape it into a nice ball and let it proof under a wet cloth for 1.5 hours or till it has doubled in size. After, roll it into a long string and portion it into pieces of 50 grams. This will create 12 to 13 buns. Now pull the dough back from the middle to create nice round buns. Transfer them on a tray that's lined with a silicone sheet and let them brew for another 1.5 hours or till they have doubled in size. Do this covered so they don't dry out. Then glaze them with 1 part egg yolk and 1 part milk. Sprinkle some flaky salt on top and bake them at 180 degrees Celsius for 16 to 18 minutes. Then glaze with some melted butter. Now heat up the stamp and mark the buns from the top. Be careful, because this is very hot. Now for the bechamel. First melt 30 grams of butter and then add 30 grams of flour. Mix it well and while stirring, boil it for 2 minutes. Then while stirring, slowly add 300 grams of milk. Keep bringing it to a boil in between to bind it. After that, season with as much Parmesan cheese as you like. If necessary, also season with salt. Now for the pasta dough. First transfer 200 grams of flour on your worktop and make a well in the middle. Fill it with 50 grams of semolina flour, 5 grams of salt, 25 grams of olive oil and 200 grams of egg yolk. Now mix it well and then knead it into a nice dough. Then cover it and let it rest in your fridge for at least 1 hour. After that, roll it into long sheets of pasta that are around 2 mm thin. Cut those sheets to the desired size. By now the sauce is also ready, so you can remove the herbs and season it with salt. Then transfer a third of the sauce on a metal container and spread it. Add a layer of pasta and then cover it with another third of the sauce. Cover that with a third of the bechamel sauce and spread it. Then add a generous amount of Parmesan cheese. Add a layer of pasta and then cover this with the final layer of the sauce. Now add the final layer of pasta and then cover it with the remaining bechamel sauce. Spread it and then cover it with some grated Parmesan cheese. Once that's done, bake it at 190 degrees Celsius till the top is golden and crispy. Meanwhile, we can make the Parmesan cheese crisp. Transfer 65 grams of white bread into a blender together with 50 grams of egg white, 20 grams of water, 20 grams of grated Parmesan cheese and 2 grams of salt. Now blend this till smooth. Then transfer a tablespoon into a bowl and color it with some tomato paste. Now use a paint roller to cover the top of the mold and bake it for 1 minute at 140 degrees Celsius. Then cover it completely with the batter and bake it at 140 degrees Celsius till golden brown. This takes around 20 to 25 minutes. Now we can finish the dish. Take the beautiful lasagna and serve a piece in a deep bowl. Grate some Parmesan cheese on top. Now place the crisp on the bowl and then serve it with the delicious Parmesan bun.
Okay guys, that's it for today. Super happy with the result. I already ate like half of the lasagna because I couldn't wait. It was so delicious. This is exactly what I wanted. You have a little bit of the fine dining, because when you look at the dish you can really see the refined crisp, and then with the beautiful Parmesan bun. So it's comfort food, but it's served a bit more fine dining without messing with these beautiful comfort flavors. So let's just take, oh yeah, that beautiful crisp. Let's just, very delicious Parmesan flavor, beautiful crisp. Like I said, the lasagna, yeah, I'm gonna need some more cutlery for this. The beautiful lasagna as well. You have all the layers, the crispiness of the Parmesan on top. That's just very delicious. Yeah, super delicious. So, super happy with the result. Also, hope you enjoyed to see a little bit of the process on creating a new dish. So like I did with Mold Brothers today. Super happy. Hope you've enjoyed it as well. Let me know in the comments on what you think or what you thought and what you want to see next. Like and share the video and subscribe if you want to support my channel and see more amazing cooking videos. And as always, bon appetit!